Welcome back to the LCS Lounge, and we have a new segment here where we have been in the spectator client, and Impact is here to walk us through literally any point of the game we want. With your 10 years of pro experience, I feel like we're going to learn something. I do want to start later in the game, though, and you're going to tell me why you felt the need to just taunt EG at this point. Where you literally just stand in front.
I mean, I just dance in because I know their game is over from them because they don't have enough damage now.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, they play like by Jace, Lucian. So Victor, they have to poke to our back line.
Yeah.
If you want to win that game, but I'm picking Sion, so it's impossible to win. So now I thought they have to play to side more to pressure, but I think they should drop the Drake, my opinion, to control top side more. And because they need to get vision first to poking or our back line or plank. But they not try to push it side, top, bottom side. I think they should push top side this one deeper,
you can drop
more. And by hiding this way, here or anywhere, like Ulf or here, then we cannot bind easily, right? Then we need to waste time to bind the buy first.
Yeah.
Then they can make time for getting more item because I think Lucian have to buy Dominic fast Esken and Victor need Void, right? If you want to win the fight.
Yeah.
But they don't know about their win condition, so we...
Yeah, I mean, this is what I want to talk to you about. Let's go all the way back to the start, and I think we have the draft, because to me, I felt like you had a winning draft, but you said you should have lost the game.
Yeah, because our team running down, so...
Well, okay, so we have the draft. This is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Caitlyn Lux and Mumu at the start, then they blind Jace, and that's what set up the Sion. But what were you expecting them to do at that Jace pick?
But does it make sense to ban Jax to end and picking Jace?
Yeah.
I thought Jace going mid, but in my head, like, wait, what's AP option? He play Rumble? Of course not. He play Gragas? That's bad. And Akali? Bad. And Bloody? Nope. Then I think, like, wait, then just picking Sion.
Yeah.
Even I think I'm playing one game Sion this game. I didn't play that. But I feel like, time to shine. I have to pick this timing because I can block Lucian poke and Jace poke. And if Caitlyn Lux get control, they cannot walk easily.
Yep.
And it's really hard to them play against, especially Amumu too. Amumu really good at counter engage. So I thought their only option, play to side. That's why we're picking Irelia too, because Irelia is strong side and fighting that. Also good against Jace too, if Jace go mid. So
You didn't go Cassante #1 and B. What would you have picked instead?
I think even they go Cassante, same happen. They don't have damage either. I think
you still just play Sion and they have all.
Yeah, I think problem is to them top banning Jax and Gwen. They should picking Jax and Gwen to damage. They have to pick last pick top in my head, but they ban the Jax. I realize they won't pick top. Cassante.
Okay, so
but they pick Jace.
This is where I'm confused, because to me that's saying you won the draft because Sion's going to counter their whole team.
Yeah.
But then why do you think they should have won?
Because we are playing really bad early game.
Okay, let's talk about this. We're into the game. So first things first, at the start of the game, as Sion, when I knew I was going to have you on, so I was watching your point of view the whole game, and I'm like, you really don't have much of a job for the first 12 minutes, so how do you make sure you don't lose lane to Jace?
I mean, after buff, Sion get HP and Q damage more. So now Sion can damage straight. It's hard to Jace pressure because now it's really risky about going core and cut down. So now it's not enough pressure, so Sion can farming easily. But just problem is if Jace play well to just keep farming well and pressure side, Sion cannot stop that 1v easily. So
right, but you could also send Irelia to counter.
Yeah, but I think I lost to Victor 1v either. If Victor that bad, that's why I said problem. Victor was 0-1-0 and randomly get 4 kill. Yeah, so I was thinking wait, then
Did you see how he got the first kill?
No.
Okay, I want to show you. This was an interesting play. So basically, they match ganks in the mid lane.
Yeah. Oh, he missed.
Missed.
Oh.
Yeah. He's in.
Wait, we go in?
Just wait.
Okay. Not bad.
And it's over, you think.
Wait.
But then he just kills him.
Jojo!
I mean, okay.
No, but this one, Jojo need to ask the buy, help push, or he got bug here.
Yeah.
He really bad situation. Or just TP back. For
after the gank, he's going to lose all his minions. So you want to inspire to stick around until they can reach.
He have to. It sucks. This mid gap sucks, but he have to. But Jojo decided suicide.
Yeah. Well, it's that or get denied. Anyway, it's first dragon. I know you wanted to talk about this in terms of running it down.
I mean, first dragon sucks because we reset timing was bad here before. But it's fine. We get tempo here.
I'll show you. You said reset timing was bad.
Amumu reset timing because we looked at top one time here. I think that was bad.
Right. Yeah, you don't actually need anyone to come up top.
Yeah, I mean, Speaker keeps saying that we can kill top, but I'm thinking like, even I'm 1-0 is usable.
Yeah.
Because anyway, I want just get shares to getting HP more than getting resource
And
to.
was this lane? It was gonna push though, right? Or is it? Can you just hold it here forever?
No, I have to push this way. But if they gank that, killing Sion, then we get Drake, we win automatic. So.
Because you're gonna scale anyway.
Yeah. And also he doesn't have information about Amumu.
Yeah.
To going to.
Yeah, because he just sees.
Yeah,
this,
Amumu
so
can
he doesn't
go
know.
this way too, where he don't have. I counting that he don't have war either here. At the 4 minute, he get war, but he don't move the downside, so I know he no war.
Okay.
So it's fine to actually just let him getting scared himself.
Right.
You know, it's not like.
Yeah, because he
some
won't be
days
warded
not
after
like
the gank.
Chinese top laner, you know, like don't care to war and just push the 1v1. He not do that, so I knew that.
Did you see the first dragon fight?
Yeah, was.
I mean, it's hard because you're actually CSing, but I'll just show it to you so you can see.
Yeah, was bad, I think.
Yeah, it's tricky because he went for the smite steal, and then it looks with FBI being bad condition, you might be able to win, but JoJo is actually, like, he just had a buy.
I think this one is bad to engage because they're moved to offside, right? We cannot stop that they're going to banana bush. So I think let them go and just push the side, mid and bottom first, and get control vision, you know? Then B6, let B6, Amun B6 better, faster than buy. But we choose that fighting. That's at here. I think something doing wrong.
Yeah.
And I tell them just play slow. Because look at midway. Midway was freezing. You know, this wave was freezing and he just joined the fight. You know. Then this wave is talking here, and Victor now catch every chest and 2-1-1.
Yeah.
I thought he can carry this game.
Yeah, especially because he's the only one who can do damage.
Yeah, because Victor no flash, right? And he needs skill after level 6 to Irelia. But he don't need skill now because he got tier 2 shoes free. He can dodge from move speed. And yeah, normally this situation, buy need a hover all the time.
Yeah.
But we cannot make waste time.
One play I thought you guys did really well here was the Herald reset. So you get the kill. I think I remember this properly. And then who's calling to go for this? Because they shove in.
Oh, this one is everybody called it because I think Prince called it about he wants up.
Yeah.
Here because we have a tempo.
Yeah. Because a lot of Caitlyn Lux lanes don't like to swap. They just camped for plates. But you guys did the swap at 9 minutes, get the Herald, and just get plates top.
Yeah, but I think they followed this one. I think kind of occurs because they don't know where's Amumu. So Bai kind of scared about check that.
Right. This is what they
So
see.
they have to play slow. Also, Jace not winning Irelia. So now look, Jace should be scared that soon to 1v1. Wait, where's Irelia?
Yeah,
He
where's
base?
Aurelia?
We sub again. Yeah, never mind.
Because he reset.
And Victor TP bottom right here.
Reset? Yeah, Victor was just mid. He was out of mana, so he needed the reset.
Victor TP bottom here. Yeah, this one running down. He should not do that. I think Jace, when Jace catch bot, Victor push mid.
Yeah.
Then Jace push next bottom wave and Lucian push top and they're matching again.
Right.
But they, doing wrong here.
Right. So you wanted Victor mid to shove out and Jace to get bottom. So otherwise they have to.
Yeah.
swap.
So look here, I get top tempo here because Jace waste time here to top side. So now I can choose going down to Drake, or I can choose to like whatever reset and everything. They give tempo.
They did get Drake though.
We think better because we already have control river.
Yeah.
So it's better me. I'm not moving down. And just matching 1v1, not Jace get gold.
I forget actually right now.
That's really big because Victor stuck in bot side here.
Yeah. So he's not getting much gold.
So they gave time to Irelia getting work.
But they still did, man. They just wait for the reset and then Inspired has a good timing.
But they got Drake too late.
Yeah.
They should get Drake early.
Right, because their first Drake was at 5 minutes, so this one sat for like 2 minutes and it slows down their soul.
Yeah, I mean, still bad, but we got header and Caitlyn get gold.
Yeah, I want to make sure we can get through the rest of the game. I thought this was a cool sequence. Basically, all your hard work starts paying off.
Yeah, there's some problem. Jace should not push that wave and base early to matching that if you want to hold that top turret.
Okay.
Or just TP top that.
What do you want him to do?
I mean, he is moving here randomly to mid. I think he should base early.
Right. So you wanted him to base basically right after killing that wave, he can base and then.
Yeah, here. Because they know we're hitting header, right? They know we cannot stop this header.
Yeah.
So shoot base and matching the tempo or push this and TP top. But he don't do both ways, so he lost top turret. It's
Yeah.
kind of bad to you losing to Sion to getting deep turret.
Yeah, your gold is actually 400 higher than Jace.
Yeah, and
point.
now I have pre-move timing here.
Yep.
I move, then I have pressure mid turret. That's snowball because if someday TP top that and pressure 1v me, then move down, he can get poison pulse to poke me, poke my teammate. But he give tempo to me to like not tipping and just reset late. That's why I'm using ulti top side too, because I was counting Dragon was when I press ult was 1 minute 90 seconds, and my ulti cooldown is 95 seconds.
Dragon's in like 4 seconds at this point.
Yeah, but before like when I press ult timing, I'm matching the ulti same timing Drake timing. So my ulti coming soon here.
Yeah, I'm actually told we're out of time, but I'm going to sneak one in. I want you to tell me just about the actual fight and what you think went well, because I think this was the game deciding fight. I'll slow it down, we'll watch it once and just talk through it.
I think they're lush. Here, if they, Victor should push top and do 1v me, and we have to catch top side. If we maybe catch top side, just moving up and control battle side and keep poking us. But they drop the mid wave now. They drop the top wave now. They drop the bot wave either.
Yeah.
And now
and they just fight, and you have the TP. Once
we
you
won't
place
fight
this ward,
we won't fight so bad here.
once you have this flank, it's over.
Yeah, I mean they don't clear war. They trap. I don't know. They want to kill us that bad. But Sion, you don't kill Sion. I think that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay, we could keep talking about this all day, but we actually have more games. Impact, thank you very much for joining us. Next game up, we have the casters ready, Azael and Inspired. Take it away.
Oops, actually I'm blaming too much.
Welcome back, everybody, and Jat was right. We're turning it into a tri-cast here for the third game of the day. I'm still Flowers. That's still Azael.
Got the
and
reigning
Fire
MVP.
joining us here for the cast of Liquid versus 100 Thieves. How you doing, buddy?
Sometimes I can do better than
All right, fair.
after the game like that.
Understandable. As someone who's also been in games where you're up against 3-item Caitlyn as a 1-item jungler, I was feeling for you.
I mean, the vibe is that this kind of champion, once your team starts losing and you lose one team fight, then you just kind of have to keep going, and it doesn't really look too good sometimes. So it's okay. I think we could have came back to the game once Caitlyn had no flash, and then I called to try to all just send it on her and try to kill her, and hopefully we come back, but we didn't manage to, and the game was pretty lost after that, because as you said, once Caitlyn gets free items, it's really hard to play.
It's a tricky situation to go into, but we got another banger coming up here next. Liquid and 100 Thieves. These are two squads that also have quite a big rivalry. We've had, the FlyQuest versus EG. We've had C9 versus TSM. A lot of good ones here today, my friends.
Absolutely. Some great games, definitely to start it off. Some more teams, up towards the top of the table. Bjergsen just gave an interview with Dexerto here, and this is kind of interesting, to me, that he really still feels that he has to prove himself here. He's been in the league for so long. He's one of the undeniable greatest players in the LCS of all time. Has won so many championships here, but TL had really high expectations, did not meet them, and he feels like he needs to prove that he wasn't the problem, show that he's still a great player. How has it been for you coming to LCS, getting to play against Bjergsen some?
I mean, I was watching Bjergsen since a long time. It's pretty crazy to think that when I was a kid and I was just starting to play League or start watching competitive games, Bjergsen was already like a star of LCS, and right now I get to play against him. So that was very
and
nice
beat him
experience.
actually quite a bit last year. Well, I guess you guys kind of beat everyone last year, to be honest. So it's going to be an interesting one. Pyosik also coming over. We got Pyosik versus Closer. That's the jungle matchup here. How do you feel about these guys and kind of current jungle meta? Pyosik obviously didn't have the hottest start coming in, but is a reigning world champion.
I mean, I think Pyosik is a pretty good player. I mean, obviously you have to be good to win worlds, but I think the meta in the jungle right now doesn't really show that much. As good you are as a jungler, it doesn't really show sometimes, because I think the most important thing as a jungler right now is to have good synergy with your bot lane and play well around what they wanna do. When they wanna reset, then you just try to not buff there and try to get your camps at that timing, and then when they are ready to crash the lane, be there for them. Or sometimes when they are picking losing matchups like Tsunami, try to sneak the ganks and try to get them ahead, because basically whichever AD carry gets ahead nowadays is just rolling the game. So I think that's the most important part of being a jungler nowadays.
Well, we do have the expected jungle ban for every single game of LCS these days, and the Elise banned out here in the first half Karma and Gnar, the other two for 100 Thieves, while Zeri, the Bjergsen Zillion Special, and Jhin will all be banned out by TL. It's a first pick Ashe over for Team Liquid, with Caitlyn and Varus being the immediate lock-ins of the bot lane duo for 100 Thieves.
That's actually pretty spicy, and I think this is the first game Pyosik hasn't had Kindred ban against him in the LCS so far, so we might actually get his namesake. Pyosik, I believe, means mark in Korean, based on the Kindred marks, so it is actually really interesting if we do get to see him lock it in. He is going to swap it up over to the Maokai here. So how are you feeling about Maokai currently? Obviously, there was some demonic brace nerf, some little changes, but still seeming to be very high priority.
I think Maokai is probably the strongest champion right now because Drakes are very important and he has very good zone control around the Drakes. And about the Kindred, I think he wouldn't lock in Kindred with Ashe because Ashe is probably going to be support. And when you play Kindred, you kind of want to have some engage on your team comp. And that's why Maokai is very good with her. And like together they can, Maokai will sublink, people will have to have very hard time to walk in and then Ashe can maybe find the arrow. So these two champions synergize very well together.
Now, this is really interesting, seeing Sivir come through here as well.
Right.
Against the Caitlyn Varus. Busio has definitely not been afraid to kind of mix it up a little bit with the different support picks. Obviously, brought in the Azir. We play heavily for that lane matchup a couple weeks ago. I've seen both Caitlyn and Varus as support, so it definitely could go either way here, for Doublelift and Busio.
Yeah.
I think both can be relatively flexible. We saw Hui actually play a really good Caitlyn support game last week. A lot of people playing Caitlyn with Barrier, with Hail of Blades, trying to get really, really aggressive and just utilize these super early power spikes to try to push in their opponents.
Well, the first half of the draft is mirrored by both squads here. It's double marksman bottom lanes for each side, as well as a tanky jungler with plenty of CC. Now, what are we going to look at in terms of solo lanes? 100 Thieves are going to remove the Jace. Remember back when Summit was doing his MVP performance when he was first in North America, it was like Jace and Gnar that he was able to really shine with. We got the cameras, we got the Pepes, Twitch chat, live and in person. Kassadin banned out by TL. They don't want 100 Thieves to be able to pick that one up, especially not when you got two squishy marksmen for him to target later on in the game.
When you see a bot lane like this Inspired, this kind of matchup, it's double range, it's 4 marksmen down on the bot lane, a lot of squishy champions. Are you immediately thinking you're already going to have to pay extra attention to that? That is going to draw a lot of attention down there because it can be kind of more explosive?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the matchup goes, but I think Sivir doesn't have enough push power on level 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I think Caitlyn Varus will just get over the push, and I don't think there will be too many trades going on. I mean, Caitlyn is a pretty good answer to Ashe, because once you pick Ashe, you go Hail of Blades, and you play for that level 1 power spike with just W forward, go use free autos, get the push. But if enemy answer with Caitlyn support, and she can do pretty much the same thing, and you have a stronger AD, which is Varus, I think then you basically counter the Ashe in the early game. But the consequence of that is that you have Caitlyn support. So if the game goes longer, you kind of don't have a support, right?
It is a downside.
Yeah. The upside to playing Caitlyn support is, hey, you've got Caitlyn in lane. Downside to Caitlyn support is, ooh, you got Caitlyn out of lane with no money.
With one item forever.
Yeah, that's not a good vibe. 1 second left here for TL to lock in their first pick. Do they actually want to go with this? No, not quite the spice we're going to get. So it's Jax versus Renekton in the top lane.
Yeah, one of Summit's classics when he was here last time around, and Haeri going to go for the Azir, so pretty interesting going for the Azir, a little bit of wave clear here in mid lane. It does seem like it could be a fairly explosive top lane. I mean, I think both Tenacity and Summit are players that are pretty aggressive in nature. They like to really go at each other, really like to actually try to go for some of these 1v1s. We saw, Tenacity fighting it out against Fudge. We've seen Summit time and time again really trying to push these matchups to the limit. And how do you expect... Well, if we get Taliyah, it's going to be a lot of it playing to both sides. I was going to say, how do you expect...
Twitch chat's not even as bad as some of you guys. You'll need a cold shower.
How do you expect the junglers to actually path in a game like this then? Trying to take in consideration, both the bot lane and the top lane, which mid feels like more like a farm fest and push and move, but both bot and top could be fairly spicy.
I mean, I'm not exactly sure how the bot will go, but I would imagine that it won't be too low health Varus because the ranked champs, I feel like they will just accept that Varus and Caitlyn are pushing, and both junglers will go try to do something on top side because it's obviously Renekton against Bjergsen. I think once someone gets ahead there, it's just over for the other side.
So, both of these drafts fully complete, all 10 champions locked in front of you right now. If you had the choice to be playing from either one of these junglers' position, which one would you rather be playing from? Would you rather be the Maokai or the Sejuani in this matchup?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's a very close draft, and it's really hard to say which one is better. I think the draft with Azir obviously always scales very well, but the Taliyah has a lot of playmaking in the early game, so maybe playing the Sejuani side will be a bit easier.
I mean, we had your teammate Vulcan on here a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about, you know, scaling versus playmaking and which kind of draft that he likes to play. And he said he always prefers to be on the playmaking squad that's put on the timer because you don't just have to sit under your turret and pray for 20 minutes. You get to decide what happens in the game a little bit earlier, and he sort of likes having that intensity. But it's Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves, locked and loaded, ready to go here. Bjergsen going up against TL after feeling like he fell short with the performance with them, wanting to prove that he's still got it, that he's still up there on that greatest of all time pedestal here in the LCS. Doublelift obviously right there next to him, coming back out of co-stream jail. He's ready to go and get back on the stage.
I mean, Doublelift has had a great season so far. You know, he's impressed me, come back, and I think, you know, performed quite well. A lot of his team fighting has been very, very strong. Their one loss, I think, was that Azir support game that obviously, you know, went pretty well in lane, but didn't really work outside of that. And it is, in fact, going to be Varus support for Busio. So it will be Doublelift playing the Caitlyn. It is going to be Busio on the Varus, you know, with the Halo Blades as expected here. Core, of course, going to be playing Halo Blades as well on the Ashe. So will be interesting to see how that goes. You know, how do you kind of take into consideration, obviously, Taliyah, you know, in this kind of matchup against Azir, you want to get the push, you want to be moving out of your lane. If Azir and Taliyah are just AFK farming forever, it very much feels like in the Azir's favor. So how are you weighing, you know, helping getting mid prio versus just attacking the side lanes first? Is it more you want to try to play through mid, help Bjergsen get prio, and then move to the side lanes more with him?
I mean, Taliyah nowadays is not even that weak in the early game, especially, I mean, in the late game, especially if she has good setup around her. And this game, she has Sejuani, Jax, Caitlyn, Varus. So every champion has some sort of CC, which Taliyah can easily follow up on. So I feel like she will be very strong even going into the late game. And she just have more early game playmaking potential because she can push the wave and run to any side with level 6. So
quick update for everybody at home. Yes, we are in a pause. As you can see, hardware issue on your screen. Apparently, one of the players' monitors just immediately went to black screen upon loading into the game. So League officials are investigating this, making sure that everybody's ready to go. Hopefully, it'll bring us back in ASAP.
Yep, both players from teams on either teams are already hitting ready in chat. So I think we probably are just getting final ready checks. I assume that's already fixed because I don't even see any refs there with them anymore. So should be good.
All right.
Should be hopping on into this game here pretty quickly. TL versus 100 Thieves, you know, both trying to keep pace with the teams at the top of the table here. TL having a much better second week, but I think the expectations are a little bit more tempered for this team now. They do have their 2 rookie carries here that I think, you know, maybe people are expecting to take some time to really improve and get to that LCS level.
Yeah, and we know both these guys were pretty standout players in their academy days. They've been in academy system for a while. Now they're stepping up here. They get to play on the main stage. But it's a rebuild for Team Liquid, right?
Yeah.
Compared to everything from last year. So let's see how they stack up against 100 Thieves with only that 1 loss on the record like you're talking about. CoreJJ, he'll take a little damage, but he wasn't close enough to get jumped on there by 100 Thieves.
It's also interesting, you know, you obviously inspired playing with EG last year. You know, you had JoJo and Danny coming in. TL's kind of in a very similar situation now, you know, bringing up 2 rookies and trying to incorporate them into the team. You know, how was that for you, you know, working with EG?
I mean, I just told them to not take the regular season too serious, just to try to get used to stage and try to get used to the pressure you have while you're playing, because I think that's how you should use regular season, especially if you are a rookie. And I think Team Liquid could have similar approach. I think Haeri and Yeon will just get used to playing LCS, get used to playing at like very important games or like important games because it's LCS. And I think they will play better in playoffs because I mean they are rookies, they're for sure gonna learn. But it's same on the 100 Thieves side. I think Tenacity and Busio are also like gonna pop off in playoffs because they're young players and you never know what you can expect from the young player, because especially if it's his first split, he can like improve suddenly, like out of 3 weeks. Week 1 he can play bad, week 3 or 4 he can already be very good. So it's hard to say.
And we've already seen some good plays coming out of Tenacity and Busio so far in these first couple of weeks. The Busio gets chunked pretty heavily there at level 1. The volley plus Halo Blades and the Ashe, like you're talking about, along with the Boomerang Blade from Sivir, makes it pretty easy to get some burst out there. But going back to what we were talking about a little bit in draft, you brought up the point asking Inspired, Isaac, do you think junglers are going to be focusing more on this because it's all marksman, because it's so much more of a volatile lane? I'm hoping we get a lot of early jungle action from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, we have opposite starts here. Obviously, Closer starting on top side. We have Pyosik, starting on bot. So Closer, more pathing towards bot, and it's Pyosik looking to potentially path towards top, but he's actually moving like he wants to just wrap around and go for a level 3 bot here. Doublelift and Busio are very far up, so this would be really dangerous for them.
Yeah, Doublelift and Busio have level 2 versus the level 1 of their opponents, so they're trying to keep this pressure going. All right, the heal's already used. As soon as Core and Yeon hit level 2, they're ready to get the chase going. There's a flash. Pyosik, he gets twisted advance. He knocks him back. Busio, first blooded by Pyosik.
I think 100 Thieves bot lane got way too aggressive here. Like, Team Liquid already gave the push away, and it's kind of common nowadays that the junglers should just do free camps into bot and try to punish you if you play over aggressive. I think they shouldn't have stepped up that far in front of the wave. Like, they should be happy with the fact that Sivir, Ashe are getting pushed in, and they just have priority, but they really wanted to push forward.
A little bit of disrespect.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Summit's really low, and Closer's up there. It would be a little bit risky for sure. He does have full Fury, but is this a dive angle you think here? He's trying to shove the wave really fast, and Closer could potentially start this up.
The Jax has no E anymore. I don't think
they're gonna leave.
It's looking way too risky now, especially with Pyosik being here. I do believe Closer saw him. He's going to fire off the Scryer's Bloom, see Closer making his exit. Arctic Assault over the wall means that he doesn't have to actually run into the Maokai there. It was a little dicey, but it's still very early on in the game. Neither player from 100 Thieves had more than half HP, so that dive would need perfect conditions to succeed. Pyosik grabbing the top side Scuttle Crab. Gonna maybe apply a little bit of pressure onto Haeri in mid lane now. Backing up Haeri, I should say, to make sure that he can get things shoved in versus a Bjergsen that's almost out of mana. Both of our mid laners just about ready to go for that recall, get themselves a mana bar refuel, and you can see them both channeling their recalls now.
Yeah, we'll have to see how 100 Thieves bot lane can actually play this now, because now it's really dicey for Busio. And he's not playing Cleanse, so he was the easy target there. And Pyosik goes past Doublelift, he's not going to kill him. They get that free kill on Busio. But when you're playing these double range matchups, it's like the way that Caitlyn wants to exploit her advantage is by pushing in, poking out. And now you can't really do that safely anymore because Busio has no sums.
Yeah, and also I think Maokai has advantage in the jungle on this reset. He has already 2 Ruby Crystals, while Sejuani has only boots. Oh, quite a top. So going back to the bot briefly, I think Maokai is just way too tanky to die at this point of the game, so whenever he wants to make some play around the bot, I think they will be able to. They might be just waiting for his level 6 and then try to do something, but I think if they really want to, or if 100 Thieves bot lane will start trying to play aggressive again, I think they can easily punish it.
See the hawk shot used by CoreJJ there just to check that back brush in the lane, make sure Closer wasn't coming down from a lane gank. You can see his current position is in his bottom half of the jungle here on the side of 100 Thieves, just clearing back through his camps. Both junglers pretty even in terms of the farm they've been able to collect so far, but Pyosik will now make his way into this bottom lane. But there is a ward from 100 Thieves there in that second rush. CoreJJ is going to clear that one out now, which then should allow Pyosik to move up if that's what they want to do, but he's just going to go ahead and take a recall instead.
I think he's just covering the push, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're shoving in there. They don't necessarily know where Closer is, so he's going to recall on bot side, head out top anyway, so feels pretty simple for him. So from this position now, you know, as Pyosik, as Closer, are you just more looking to just kind of farm into 6, look to try to make a play around that, or are you still thinking that there are some opportunities you could get aggressive on?
If you are Closer here, you don't really have too much playmaking before level 6. Like, you want your ult, you want Varus ult to have some sort of setup to make any play happen. I think the only play they can do is like lane gank Summit if he plays over aggressive, but I think when he's level 6 he's just too tanky, they will not have enough damage, so I think both junglers will just try to get level 6 as fast as possible, and we might see a team fight around Rift Herald.
I would love to see a fight around Rift Herald. Both of our games so far have been sort of a handshake, trading neutral objectives early. One team goes Drake, other team goes Herald. Cool, no fight over it. I'd like to see that change up here a little bit in this game, especially with some of these powerful early game picks available for both sides.
Something I'm really curious about is how much do you cater your play to the player versus the champion, right? Because you mentioned Summit. Summit obviously has this reputation of dying to ganks, of being this incredible laner. Do you change your strategies a lot based on the tendencies of the people you're playing against, or is it more just like, that's a Renekton, I play like it's a Renekton?
I mean, I think sometimes you do. I think Summit is the extreme level, so yeah, for sure you think that you're playing against Summit, so he might try to get over aggressive, trying to push his lead. But for example, playing against Fudge, I think Fudge is really good at sniffing the jungler out, and he really dies to gank. So I think when you play against C9, sometimes you don't really go top too often, but against Summit, I feel like he really wants to win lane, so sometimes you can like find him, pick him up.
Bjergsen has level 6 now on that Taliyah. You mentioned the roaming power of this pick. If you're playing from the 100 Thieves side, where do you want to see sort of this first Taliyah ulti head towards? What kind of play do you want to see made with this?
I think something around bot side, around Varus ult, and that's probably the best playmaking they will have. I think killing Renekton, it will be hard. If he just plays like with his wave and ult up all the time, they will not have enough damage to kill him. So I think Taliyah will try to play around bot side.
Both junglers also hanging around the bottom side area. But you can see them also heading back to their respective camps now as Core is going to clear out the control ward. Haeri versus Bjergsen back in mid. I do believe Bjergsen got the seismic shove onto Haeri there to get him stuck inside the field of rocks. And then Haeri can just get the wave shoved up. Even though it's only a 1-kill lead, TL does currently have almost 1,000 gold ahead of their opponents. Closer's wrapping around here, seeing if there's a play to be made, but Pyosik's waiting in the jungle, and that means that Closer will not be allowed to get the angle that he was looking for.
Yeah, Closer spots him with the sweeper there, and now it just becomes him covering them so they can actually push in. You know, Yeon is out of mana, so it does look like TL are at least potentially going to base here. I don't think you can base, though, with the wave this close to your tower, so he's going to have to cancel the base. Core will finish his, but I think Yeon is going to try to stay around and just hold this. I mean, there's no level 6 on Busio. I don't think there's any risk of a dive or anything like that, so should just be able to farm it up, but potentially 100 Thieves can at least get some plate damage down.
I think Busio is trying to...
Hold on, Closer's coming in mid. The chain CC is
no way!
But it ain't nice enough. Haeri gets away.
Scale of 1 to 10, how tilted are you if he gets away there?
That's a tilted.
Oh man, that's rough.
I mean, I don't think it would involve into anything else but getting the gold off of the kill. It would be already nice. I think Taliyah would have her first item way faster, but I don't think... Maybe Team Liquid can look for the Rift Herald now because Sejuani doesn't have ult, and I don't think the start of it is that good by Closer. Oh.
Well, bottom side, 2v2. They got the damage on CoreJJ, and Busio's going to take the kill. Now ready with the piercing arrow. Sending it to the spell shield is done, but Yeon outplays it to take him out. It'll be a 1-for-1 with those two, but a 2-for-1 overall.
Damn, that was actually really well played by 100 Thieves. You know, perfectly layering the CC, the Varus ult into the Caitlyn trap. They burst down Core, and I love how long Busio just actually held the piercing arrow there, winning out that mind game on the spell shield. You know, so many people are just so quick to let it rip. As soon as they charge it up, Sivir spell shields, they pop it right into it, but he just waited it out. And you can actually charge the Varus Q longer than the spell shield lasts.
Yeah.
And that was critical there, forcing out the spell shield. Let's Doublelift get the kill with the ace in the hole.
Nicely done. Yeon at least gets the one back on the Varus, despite the fact that he held the arrow long enough to guarantee the kill for his carry. Meanwhile, Team Liquid was able to grab themselves the Herald up here in the top half of the map, so sadly, no fight for first Herald, but there also wasn't a handshake trade for the Drake Eye.
Yeah, and a lot of scrapping around bot lane. You have to give credit to 100 Thieves in this 2v2, you know, despite the fact that they got ganked early, they die, they're up 20 CS, and they get 2v2 kills there. So, you know, very well done by Doublelift and Busio, you know, playing this really, really aggressively. And as far as the item pickups as well, you know, Busio now has a serrated Dirk, which is going to be a lot stronger than just the tier 2 boots that Core has. So we can watch this one more time. You know, Core walking up, you know, potentially just trying to find them to stop a base. Straight into the Ashe arrow. There's the trap. There's the net. Following it up. Everything is there. Busio flashes in. And this is what I'm talking about. He just holds the Q through the entire duration of the spell shield. Waits the last second. Nails everything. And that ward gets him the ace in the hole over the wall.
I think CoreJJ just got a bit too excited there. I think he could have just pressed W into the brush and tried to stop the recalls. And maybe, I'm not sure if he saw that Varus hit level 6. Maybe Varus hit level 6 once he got into the brush. I'm not exactly sure right now. But that was very aggressive by him to just walk straight into Varus if he knew that he's actually level 6.
Oh, okay, you know, he hit it just barely as he was walking into the brush. So I think he was outside of the brush, but they would have had to notice immediately.
Then I think CoreJJ just got a bit too aggressive. I think he could have just blindly W it to stop the recalls.
Well, sometimes that little bit of missing information ends up costing you a lot, and for CoreJJ, it ends up being a loss in the 2v2 against 100 Thieves because of it. He does have his ulti now. Remember, this day and age, whenever we see these support Ashe builds, Isaac, you and I were talking about this in the green room earlier today before the show began, how much ability haste the champion's able to stack and how frequently these arrows are flying out. It gets to be every 30 seconds or so. Inspired as a jungler, how do you play around this when you're up against a champion like that?
Yeah, I think you have to keep reminding your teammates and yourself that there is an Ashe on enemy team. Because like once the arrow flies, you're like, okay, maybe we can play more aggressive now. Someone walks up and the arrow is up again. So you need to remember that this spell is very low cooldown and then just play with it in mind. I think once the arrow is down though, you have a little window to make some play because it's Ashe support. Without the arrow, she's not really useful. So that's the downside of the champ. But the window is so short that it's like really hard to make anything happen. They go for play.
Pyosik letting the ulti rip here. Only gonna find the Sejuani, but he flashes in for the twisted advance on Busio anyway. Busio's down to 300 HP, but CoreJJ dies at the same time. 1-for-1 here on support. Haeri looking for a chance to get in, but Doublelift and Closer have made it back underneath the protection of the tier 1 turret. Meanwhile, topside, Summit versus Tenacity! Tenacity's been getting whooped on the whole lane, but he takes him down in the solo kill.
Oh, that is a huge solo kill for Tenacity because there's no TP on Summit as well, and they know everyone just show bot, so he can potentially push us in, maybe even take a plate if he wants. Doublelift pretty low here. Yeon threatening the dive. He's got to respect the boomerang blade. If you get attacked by that, he can dive you. So Doublelift having to back up, and now Closer is here, and Yeon could potentially get chased down. Bjergsen's coming as well and has the ulti.
Yeon throwing out boomerang blade. Bjergsen's ready to arrive with a Weaver's wall. Yeon trying to escape. He can't use the spell shield to block the stun from Sejuani's E, and that means another kill for 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves winning out across the map there. Wins in top lane, wins in bot lane. You can see the Sunderer completed for Tenacity off of that as well. And you talked about how snowbally this matchup can be. With Jax ahead now, things could be tough for 100 Thieves, or rather for TL.
Yeah, I think Jax will start slowly taking over the matchup right now, especially considering the fact that Renekton doesn't have his item yet, and he doesn't have TP. So he will be stuck in the lane for a little bit while not having items. So I think Jax will be able to push out the wave, chunk him under towers with like 1W, jump out, and Renekton can't really trade back. But let's see what happened in that 1v1.
Yeah, Summit has been pushing so heavily in this matchup.
Summit has a big wave control and he feels confident taking the fight. Now Jax wasted his Z, so you think he can just push out the wave?
Yeah, did he go for a demolish proc and then just start taking damage?
Yeah, greedy demolish proc.
Yeah, it's the top lane greed, man. Sometimes you want to go in for that, but then it's free hits for Jax. You can't actually start trading back under the tower. You're gonna die to the tower, so he takes about 200, 300 damage, and that's just enough to make the difference. And Closer now should be able to get out of there. Busio has flash, doesn't gonna need it.
The ulti, but Busio, too greedy. He stays too close to the wall and he gets picked. Haeri cleans it up. Nice job from TL, but now they've got to be able to escape. Tenacity coming around from the side. Counter-Strike's gonna find the lockdown on the Pyosik, and Bjergsen's able to shove him back. Kill credit back over to Tenacity. Doublelift picks up one on Yeon. It'll be 2 for 1 for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, the TP advantage coming in massive, and Closer was so clutch with that ult on the Sejuani. He ults Haeri right as he's coming in and actually prevents the sweep. Would have been able to get Doublelift and potentially him as well. At the very least, Summit does get mid lane turret back, and now Haeri getting aggressive on Doublelift, who...
I don't think it was supposed to go that way.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think 100 Thieves was very, very lucky there that it was past minute 14 and Jax was able to actually TP on a ward that was placed in the pit. I think if it was before that, I don't know what exactly is the timer when the play is happening, but if he can't TP behind him, I think TL just gets a pick and gets out of it without anyone dying. So I don't think it was too planned, but it just came out on the fly. I think maybe Team Liquid didn't consider the minute 14 mark and the TP advantage from Jax while making this play.
Yeah, Busio just not taking consideration of the fact that when he steps forward there and gives auto, he gives vision, right? So Pyosik can just jump over the wall, gets that free kill, and then there was that TP coming in. But yeah, great ult from Closer, stopping Haeri from being able to sweep in Doublelift and get another kill.
All 4 of Team Liquid's kills are Busio. No other player on the side of 100 Thieves has been killed yet.
He's making space.
Yeah,
he's creating pressure.
Yes, he is creating space for the rest of his squad. They are still ahead. 3 kills overall. They are down in gold, however, as Team Liquid is still up about 800. Tenacity in a 1v2 versus Pyosik and Yeon, and obviously not feeling too bad about it.
Yeah, not gonna be feeling too bad, but he did let the ult rip there, didn't connect with anyone, and now he's kind of zoned out. This is getting a little bit awkward. Tenacity on the flank without ulti could be a bit sketch, but 100 Thieves do seem to have the HP advantage. They have better poke. We'll see if they can actually land any of it.
TL.
100 Thieves just push mid and top, so Team Liquid is in this awkward position where they either have to rush the objective or go back to lanes.
Well, Bjergsen,
up for the fight.
Nice placement of the wall there, cutting off the bottom lane of TL from the rest of the fight. Now Tenacity stuck here in the middle of everybody. They're going to shut him down before anybody can back him up. 100 Thieves. And he goes in. He finds the shuffle, but it's only on the Closer. Now they're going to chase him down. Pyosik wants it. Haeri has nobody to body block. Ace in the hole takes him down. Doublelift's going to grab another triple kill. Is it a quadra kill for Doublelift? He just tears through him.
Doublelift team fighting rips him a new one as they try to push in there. But diving into the Taliyah is so dangerous. If you are not killing off this Caitlyn and this Taliyah immediately, you are going to get roasted. And they just go straight into the meat grinder, trying to finish off Closer, trying to kill off Busio. Bjergsen and Doublelift were completely untouched.
Yeah, honestly, I think if Team Liquid just played a little bit slower, like after getting the first kill on the Jax, I think Jax is going in a bit too early. Taliyah W misses. But right now, if Team Liquid just uses their cooldowns on Jax and then slow down the fight, and disengages and plays it again, I think they're in a very good spot, but they get very ahead of themselves and they keep chasing. Like, I don't think Azir needs to do this play, especially if the enemy carries have flashes up. I think the Herald is already theirs and they basically take 1 for 0. But yeah, they opted to keep fighting and it didn't go there well.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard with a heavy melee comp to fight into Taliyah, right? If you were not killing off that Taliyah at the start, charging straight into her, you were going to get shredded. I mean, Doublelift pick up a lot of the kills there, but Bjergsen was obviously getting a lot of damage done as well. And I mean, it's a tough flank to make happen. As the Jax, without ult, like you don't have that ability to get the extra resistances when you're getting into the middle of the team. So as soon as Counter-Strike ends, you die like instantly.
Yeah, I thought 100 Thieves will just keep pushing top and bot, top and mid, and try to maybe engage when the Herald gets lower, but they opted to engage instantly, even though Jax didn't have ult and was like splitted from the team, but it worked out well for them.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a slight lead for 100 Thieves, but despite the fact that they're up 5 kills, the gold is very, very close to even because it's a couple towers that have gone the way of TL. You know, Summit was pressuring very heavily up in top lane, did finish off that turret. They already knocked down that tier 1 mid as well. So they're not in too bad of a situation here. Next Dragon spawning in 30, and I think 100 Thieves really want to play for it, but it is so tough playing around this area, trying to play for brush control against the Maokai.
Yeah, but this game it will not be as hard because Maokai is not buying any AP items, he has no demonic, and he's not going into Liandry's, he opted more into the tank Maokai, so it's a bit easier to face check his saplings.
Well, they'll summon up the Rift Herald here in bottom lane. Bjergsen's already done enough damage to the turret. The charge should guarantee the kill. There it is. That's the second turret of the game claimed by 100 Thieves. They're going to tie TL's turret count, bring themselves up to a 2,000 gold lead. Doublelift's trap line going to force Team Liquid to walk the long way around the river there as the Drake is secured by 100 Thieves. 2-0 lead in that department now too. Tenacity arrives to cut off Pyosik's escape. Bjergsen's going to throw the Weaver's Wall in as well to make him walk even further. However, the Sun Disc is summoned up in mid lane on the ruins of the previous turret, and that means Tenacity is all alone. Team Liquid do a good job turning that back around and maintain priority over mid. They'll get a second turret here.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like he needed to TP on that play. They had already gotten the Dragon for free. You know, he's trying to go for a TP flank on a full tank jungler. You pointed out, it's no AP on that Maokai. And now they are just really out of position to defend mid lane, so they lose another turret mid, they lose the Jax, they lose that TP, and Tenacity hasn't really been able to kind of establish the vision that or the advantage that you were expecting after getting that solo kill.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know what happened on the Rift fight, but I mean, even though they won the Rift fight, Jax didn't get anything out of it, right?
Yeah.
He died before the kills even happened, so for him it wasn't the best fight, for his teammates were good, but right now he's not too happy about the place he's in. I think he for sure expected himself to get more lead after that solo kill.
Yeah, he's actually down 1,000 gold individually now because Summit got the solo gold on the turret. You know, is quite a bit up in farm. You know, 30 CS advantage as well. So despite the fact that he did get that solo kill, has +1 kills, you know, not really creating that big advantage. But Doublelift now, IE already complete, is massive for the team fighting. He didn't actually have that for that Dragon fight. And Caitlyn on this really big spike with Yeon delaying his IE to 3rd. He is going to have that power spike much later. I feel like Caitlyn is way stronger than the Sivir right now.
It feels like a Caitlyn game. It feels like the most important champion for either one of these teams is Caitlyn. If 100 Thieves can protect, then hey, they're gonna win. If TL can get that Azir shuffle or get the lockdown from Maokai onto the Caitlyn and blow him up, I feel like the fight is gonna be there.
So with the full tank Maokai build, you know, how should Pyosik be looking to play out these team fights, right? We know that Doublelift is a big threat, Bjergsen is a big threat. Does he need to just be full sending out on a dive? Should he be peeling for his own carries?
I mean, you usually want to peel for your carries if you have more damage on enemy front line, right? But right now with how strong Caitlyn is and how strong Taliyah will be soon while she gets her Archangel completed, I feel like he might just die faster than the Sejuani will. So it might get a bit tough. I think maybe they will need to look for some shuffles angles for Caitlyn, as you said, in order to win the fights. But they have Sivir ult in the fight, so they can, if the fight is split up, maybe they can turn on someone that is like not group from 100 Thieves side, so maybe that's what they will be looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened a few times. They've caught Tenacity when he's trying to look for that flank. They turn on Tenacity, and you call it the Sivir ult, obviously, you know, really powerful when combining with this Maokai and this Renekton, Ashe as well. So pretty good forms of engage, definitely on TL. If 100 Thieves are split up, there's a lot of squishy members that can get caught out and burst down. It's really only Closer that is safe if he maybe gets hit by like an Ashe arrow or something like that. Pretty much everyone else could be relatively killable.
Isaac, can you check the cooldown on Ashe's arrow right now for me?
It is 52 seconds.
52 seconds. Okay, so we're not down to the pure spam point yet, but Still feels pretty good, less than 1 minute on every arrow.
Yep, he's only got 2 stacks on Ultimate Hunter, you know, and he didn't go straight for his Mythic, so Umbral Glaive, you know, doesn't have a huge amount of...
Oh! Nice job, forces out Cleanse.
Still, very good trade, right? Cleanse is a much longer cooldown there.
That's a very big pickup. I think the Drake is up in the minute and a half, and Caitlyn Cleanse will not be up on that. So I think one Renekton flash W, Maokai flash W, and if CC that will hit the Caitlyn might just win them the teamfight.
So do you think 100 Thieves just shouldn't even fight for the Dragon then? Is it too risky, you know, to try to take a fight there without Cleanse on your Caitlyn, potentially, you know, throw your advantage?
Yeah, that's a tough decision to make. I think they can still win the fight. Caitlyn plays very well, but it's for sure more risky.
Yeah, gotta really be tracking any potential flank wards as well. They're looking for an engage now, though.
Busio flashes over the wall, but he still gets grabbed by the second Maokai Tindril. You have to see the flash from Closer as well to be able to escape. Team Liquid utilizing these Maokai ultis to just be that go button and get ready to launch the assault. And you could see as they were moving forward, they summoned up Haeri's Sun Disc at that tier 1 turret ruin again, just in case 100 Thieves tried to turn it around.
I mean, now a potential Dragon fight looks so sketchy, right? There's no cleanse on Doublelift, there's no flash or heal on Busio, and Closer had to flash as well. So the resource is definitely getting taxed pretty heavily there. All it really cost them was a couple ults on the side of TL. And the ghost from Yeon, but honestly, who really cares? They pretty much got everything else ready to go. Busio would be a guaranteed kill. You know, Doublelift gets flash stunned or flash rooted. That's pretty much a guaranteed kill. So it does feel like if 100 Thieves are going to take a fight, they've got to really track any sort of flank. You have to have Tenacity marking the Renekton. You've got to know where they could be coming from, because if all of a sudden the Crocodile shows up in your backline, I think it's game over.
Closer just trying to sweep around, find any of the vision, clear things out here around this Drake. 100 Thieves don't seem to be ready to surrender it. It is Busio and Closer moving back behind the terrain, making sure that nobody's going to get picked while the rest of the team is still on the way. Bjergsen's the furthest out, but he does have Weaver's Wall to join if need be.
And that's one of the really nice things about having the Taliyah is you can actually stay longer around mid lane and try to get that push, try to force them to respond, but he is trying to get a good angle here potentially for that Weaver's Wall. He's up in the jungle, so maybe he wants to cut some of them off so they can actually engage on that front line. Look at him at the blue buff there, trying to get an angle to just zone off some of the back line here. But it's Summit that's on this flank angle. There's Tenacity looking for that isolation.
Yeah, Summit's just running away from everybody else. Tenacity wants to chase him. The Weavers won't. Haeri! But now they've already popped the enemy mid laner. That's huge for 100 Thieves. The Drake is taken low. Who's going to get it? It's stolen away by Closer. They grab their second kill. The Thieves are absolutely slaughtering Team Liquid in this fight.
Yeah, Haeri just got way too far forward. It looked like Bjergsen just straight up hit him with the seismic shove. I think it was Closer that hit him with the ulti after. And you get burst down like that, you lose the Azir for free, and all of a sudden it's a disaster because Azir's down, Summit is marked on the side, and as soon as the Azir was dead, Doublelift just goes up there with Tenacity and finishes off that Renekton, so TL getting nothing here. You know, it's a good angle that Doublelift is playing at. You know, he's so far back, they can't really get to him. They see the Crocodile trying to sneak around, so Tenacity looks for the mark. In comes the Weaver's Wall, and then, yeah, let's see this one more time onto Haeri, but I think it was just straight up seismic jump. Yeah, Haeri had flash, you know, thought he could walk out of it, not able to do so. And as soon as you're tagged by that, Sej ult is coming through, and you're gone.
Yeah, I think it was very well played by every 100 Thieves member. I think Doublelift was in a good position, not being able to get flanked. Tenacity was very good at marking the Renekton, so he couldn't really get access to the Caitlyn. And as you said, Bjergsen found a very good engagement to the Azir. And once Azir is dead, I think it's pretty hard for Team Liquid to fight because it's the main source of damage for now until Sivir gets her IE. But just overall, very good fight by 100 Thieves.
And Doublelift is like a full IE ahead now as well. He's 3k up, so this Caitlyn is just not going to be stopped unless you can instantly kill her at the start.
I don't also even know if it's IE on Yeon. He has a Caulfield's Warhammer. Yeah, that's a Navori Quick Blades component. As 100 Thieves, they're going to find Summit and just blow him up. By the way, my friends, Baron is on the table.
Baron o'clock.
That's 4v5 for the next 40 seconds. Team Liquid's going to have to come up with some sort of an answer here. You know they don't just want to give this one away. Haeri has unleashed Teleport to join the rest of the team, and he's going to use that right now on a ward in mid lane. 100 Thieves starting up the Baron, deploying the trap line from Doublelift, cutting off the river, trying to make it so Team Liquid has no way in to access this pit. Pyosik has flash to go over the wall and try to contest here with Smite. Tenacity's wrapping around the long way, but he walked over wards doing it. TL knows the Jax is moving like this, but now Bjergsen's coming in to cut him off. It's Haeri stuck again, this time flashing away to make sure he doesn't get caught. Yeon and CoreJJ want to pop the ulti to get out. Tenacity goes in. Oh. Legendary, and 100 Thieves go off. They're chasing Team Liquid away now. The Baron is stopped, so they essentially trade CoreJJ for the Baron.
Yeah, I like that they didn't actually flip that. There's no reason to flip the game. You're in such an advantageous position. They don't have anyone that could really push Pyosik out, and he had flash, so I didn't think there was any reason for 100 Thieves to try to commit to finishing. It seemed way smarter to turn.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think they realized that there is no way they can zone out the Maokai, as you said, and they just went for the turn on the easiest target, which is probably Ashe. And I think Tenacity did very well. He went all the way from the blue buff. He got spotted on one of the wards, so he went all the way to the mid lane, and then Bjergsen took over his position and ulted from that point. So honestly, that was very, very clean by 100 Thieves.
2,000 gold and 3 Drakes is the lead for 100 Thieves here in 2 minutes. Team Liquid are going to have to fight them in open ground at the Drake to stop them from getting the Ocean Soul.
So what do we need to see from TL in these next couple minutes to really have a chance then? We're assuming that 100 Thieves are going to show up, try to get Soul. You know, from your point of view for TL, is it about getting deep vision to try to set up a potential TP flank? Well, they're not even going to have TP, so that's off the board. But how do you try to set up a potential comeback fight?
That's a tough one, honestly. That's a tough one to be in when you press tab.
Yeah.
See the Caitlyn with 9 kills and a lot of items.
These 3-item Caitlyns, man, they are causing problems.
He might have 4 before it even starts as well.
I think
He's
might
got
even get the 4th one.
Yeah, he's got 1,900 gold in pocket. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's LDR.
Yeah, that's another item there, probably completed. Becomes very, very difficult. You know, are you thinking, clearly you can't play front to back now anymore, right? Like you're gonna just die to the Caitlyn and Taliyah. So how do you try to facilitate that sort of a flank then? Is it Maokai coming from a different angle than the Renekton, trying to really just get on top of this backline?
Yeah, I think so. They need to get very creative and somehow manage to take the Caitlyn down. But I think if Doublelift plays it well enough, he will just carry the game, and he's known for his team fighting. So I think the 100 is in a really advantageous position.
45 seconds now on the Drake. You can see Yeon going ahead and taking his reset, going back to purchase those Nabori quick blades we were talking about. So at least he's on 3 full items. Doublelift doesn't look like he's quite going to be able to make it back in time to get the completed LDR. So 3 items completed versus 3 items completed. Not as bad as it could be here for TL, but the challenge is still massive heading into this next one. The Caitlyn traps are down around the Drake, but the 100 Thieves players are up around Baron.
Yeah, Doublelift, you know, just electing to stay out with his team. He doesn't want to lose tempo by resetting, you know, giving over all the vision around the dragon. This is something that I've talked to him about before. You know, he talked about in the past in his career, he would always prioritize completing the items, but realize that positioning is often more important in these fights. You know, wants to be the first one there, and they're going to start it up now. TL going to try to push through this trap line. CoreJJ trying to look for an angle, and Summit is on a potential flank, but they're just going to be Taliyah ulted out.
Yeah, they're like, we have the damage. We can just burst the Drake down while the Weaver's wall is up. The Drake is low, and it's secured. Closer's got it. And now TL want to disengage. Tenacity's here, but it doesn't look like he wants to collapse. TL is still far too grouped up. His team's too far away. But 100 Thieves will take that. That's Soul confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, you can just wait out Summit's ult. You know, the Croc Pops is ult. You can just wait that out, wait out the Sivir ult. No problem whatsoever doing that. And they have Ocean Soul. So now I think you want to get Doublelift his reset, allow him to buy his next item here, then get out on the map, start pressuring around this Baron. Because with Ocean Soul, it becomes so easy to bait at Baron. You're never really worried about getting chunked off from the objective.
Yeah, I think the only way for TL to play this fight out better was Pyosik maybe trying to go around the pit and flashing into the pit, trying to steal the Drake. I think if they stand on vision next to the Caitlyn trap, next to the Taliyah wall, it's really hard to get into the pit, and it's just really hard to get anything done. So I think maybe they should have gotten a bit more creative there if they wanted to come back.
Definitely going to be really difficult now, and it just feels like it's kind of up to 100 Thieves now to try to clean this one out. It is a BT purchased up there from Doublelift, which I actually really like. He honestly doesn't need more damage. He's so strong at this point that I think the BT eliminates any possibility of maybe getting 100 to 0, right? It gives you that sustain. You're not going to get poked out. You're going to have that BT shield. So it does just keep him safe.
No armor at all on Renekton either. He has a Force of Nature, a Black Cleaver, and a Gore Drinker, so the only heavily armored target is the Maokai. So as long as you're not stuck shooting him, you won't feel the loss of the LDR as heavily. But 100 Thieves now, still the gold lead itself is not astronomical, 1.4 thousand, but the soul itself is worth about 5K. So that thing is really gonna make 100 Thieves feel comfortable about the current state of the game. You can see Closer getting hit, taking a little bit of damage, but remember his second completed item after the Radiant Virtue is a Warmog. All he has to do is wait for the Leandries to stop burning. He will regenerate the health. Together with the Ocean Soul, it'll regenerate very quickly. As Bjergsen goes for the Weaver's Wall, Yeon gets cut off. And no, buddy, is it? Okay, you got away from it. I was wondering how many auto attacks it would take from Doublelift just to kill him off there. Maokai ulti's not going to get much. Again, only closer, and none of that damage can stick.
Yeah, I mean, you have Ocean Soul plus Bloodthirster plus a Warmogs, all these things that you have to try to get through here. Very, very difficult. You know, Bjergsen looking for that Weaver's Wall, just trying to zone off the rest of the team from Yeon, trying to allow them to move forward and knock down that turret. But I think it was a pretty good response from Pyosik, just dropping his ult to be able to force them away. This is going to get really tough for Summit, though, in the side lane. Jax, at this point, feels like you have definitely outscaled. And the fact that you have Ocean Soul as well allows you to trade really aggressively, even taking tower shots, healing back up off the next wave. Summit is going to have a really, really tough time trying to get anything done. And he can't just sit isolated in the 1v1 because there's no way to come back if all he's doing is AFKing in a losing matchup. So he's got to try to find some sort of angle to rejoin his team, because a miracle team fight into a Baron take or something like that is really your only hope of maybe making something happen.
So in games like these, we often talk about like getting to the point where you have to make a low success play because of the fact that if you just continue doing what you're already doing, you're going to lose. Are Team Liquid at that point inspired? Do you think we just need to see a Hail Mary YOLO go for it, or can they still try to wait this out a little longer?
I think they can wait it out and hope that 100 Thieves makes mistake. I mean, right now, for sure, 100 Thieves is in the driving seat. I think they control the game, they control the side lanes, they control the vision around Nash. So it's up. Oh, maybe there will be some fight.
Okay, a little bit of damage onto Doublelift and Closer here. Maokai ulti goes through. Doublelift's going to be protected. Closer's not.
Jax
But again,
both lane.
you can't focus the Sejuani. They just don't have the damage to bust through him here.
And you can see, we showed that total damage done throughout the game. Busio is actually getting a lot of work done. He had as much damage done as Haeri throughout this whole game here on the support Varus. You know, they're really struggling. And when you bring up the Renekton here towards the team, it's Tenacity who's just completely unmarked down in the bot lane. So Closer's starting up Baron at the same time. It's going to be multiple members that have to answer the Jax to stop them. So if they show multiple members up at Baron, he can just go right back for it. But instead, he's going to TP. They're going to commit to just finishing this. Maokai's not even anywhere close.
Oh, we've got a teleport coming in.
Oh,
very,
no,
very
not
close
again.
to 100 Thieves. Tenacity's now in a 1v4. Summit's going to be in a 1v4. Summit's already losing his. Tenacity barely took 25% damage. 100 Thieves get a free kill on top of the Baron. 4,000 gold ahead now with a 5v4 for 45 seconds.
And they could potentially close this game out during the Baron. It feels like bot lane is already cracked open. They're pushing through top here, pushing through mid. Going to be able to really extend this gold lead. It was about 1.5, 2K like 2 minutes ago, and it's now already going to be up to 6K here. They're knocking down so many towers on this push. It's going to be a massive buy when 100 Thieves does go back.
I don't even know if they need to go back, man.
Yeah.
They're just hard forcing
Tenacity?
here. Tenacity just about dead. They will at least get him. That's going to stop this for now. Doublelift and 100 Thieves managed to crack open the mid lane, but they didn't actually take the inhibitor itself. Pyosik goes in looking for Doublelift, but alone he can't get it done. Ace in the hole fires off. Doublelift still might be under pressure, but no, he just turns his gun right back on Yeon. And now Haeri teleporting behind the enemy team, trying to get the angle. He could be in trouble next. Tries to walk it off, escape out to the right. Doublelift still looking to collapse on him here. Bjergsen knows he can catch up. Taliyah is faster than Azir. Goes for seismic shove, doesn't hit it. Throw in another rock. Just keep him around, keep him distracted. Wait for Doublelift. 1,022 damage.
Late game has arrived. The 1K headshot there for the 11th kill for Doublelift. I feel like this is 3 games in a row where we've had an AD with over 10 kills.
Yeah, AD is very balanced.
Bot lane is strong this match.
Yeah, it's looking very, very good in the bot side.
Oh man, it's gonna be tough now. And a full LDR purchased up after that from Doublelift. So all the items coming through here, multiple members buying full items there on 100 Thieves side. Elder has spawned. They're just gonna start it immediately because why not?
Azir has no TP. It's gonna be 4v5. They try to contest.
And no flash as well on Pyosik, so how does he even get in there? It seems almost impossible. Doublelift just dropping the trap line. They see him there, and Tenacity's gonna look to push him out.
Yeah, Tenacity doesn't want to let Pyosik anywhere near this. Bjergsen's going to ride in the Weaver's Wall. Just let that one keep everybody separated. This is Elder Dragon. Honestly, if Doublelift gets a headshot into CoreJJ from full HP, I think he kills him.
I think
just
so too.
With one bullet.
Yeah. It's a good chance. I mean, he bought an extra item. Core has 1,900 health, so.
Honestly, I think it's the last chance for Team Liquid to win is Core acting a bit juicy there, and maybe
Just bait him in.
Maybe Doublelift will like go for the montage play, trying to rush the team and throw the game. I think honestly that's the best way they have of winning a game at this point.
Sometimes you just gotta bait him in with the goofy plays. But 100 Thieves, they are taking no chance with anything so far. They're just shoving in as a group. Bjergsen is still a little bit removed from the rest of the team. So remember what I said about one bullet?
Forget core. Kill Yeon instead, dummies.
Just shoot the guy with one bullet, and you'll win the whole game right there. Pyosik even takes 800 damage with his headshot crits. Doublelift has no fear, and he doesn't need to have it, man. Nobody can survive this. 100 Thieves with the Elder Dragon wastes no time pushing Team Liquid back into their own fountain. The Elder Dragon's just puking on everybody. Double kill for Doublelift. There it is, 37 minutes in, 22-8. 100 Thieves get the dub.
Doublelift's looking a little bit strong, guys. 14-0-6 on the Caitlyn. Monster game from Doublelift, who has been on a tear, honestly, these last 4 games. It feels like he had back-to-back Xeri games he was crushing on. Great team fighting on the Caitlyn as well. They got the 2v2 kill, killed both in bot lane, and were up 20 CS as well after getting 3-camp ganked. So 100 Thieves, really doing well here. Felt like a pretty bulletproof game. Like, they were in control for a vast majority of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can safely say after this game that Doublelift is back. I think when he had the Xeri games, everyone was just playing for him. There's Zillion in the mid lane, then Lulu, and right now he played Caitlyn with not that much setup around him or like feel around him, and he performed very well. So
yeah, really good to see. Bjergsen deathless, closer deathless. Very, very nice stuff from them. TL on the other side, still some growing pains. I think still figuring things out somewhat. They are playing, with I think a team that has a lot less experience together. It's fair to say, they're bringing a lot of different people up from academy, people in from other regions, trying to kind of get things going. They had their moments, but it did feel like a tough one for TL.
I mean, Inspired said it. When you're playing against Caitlyn with 3 items, the game becomes pretty difficult, and there wasn't really a way to apply pressure past that one time where it felt like, yeah, Core got him with the arrow, he popped the cleanse, maybe we can force a fight. But after that, it was just like there was never any way to get him.
yeah, I agree. I think the fight on the third rate, it was when Caitlyn had no cleans. I think that was the point where Team Liquid could come back to the game, but they didn't manage to execute it well enough, or maybe 100 Thieves just executed it perfectly. And after that point, I didn't see many openings for them.
I mean, TL had that one fight over by Herald, I think it was, where Doublelift was just kind of completely left free and got, what was it, Quadra, I think, at that point in the game. And for me, that was like, okay, well, now the game gets really, really hard, right? They hard committed on some of these members. You talked about how they played that fight a little bit more slowly. It could change a lot. But that's one of those moments in a game where you go back into VAR view and it's like, that's what you're going to be focusing on, because had they played that fight out a little bit more slowly after they killed Tenacity, the whole game can change, right? All of a sudden, Doublelift doesn't have 4 kills. All of a sudden, he's not on those 3 items way ahead. And maybe you can just play front to back where the game is a lot more simple to execute.
Yeah, I agree, for sure. Like, once you start winning the team fight, you very often get excited as a team, and you like want a little bit more. I think they just couldn't go for a little bit more there, and they should have been happy with 1 kill, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to kind of what we're talking about with, the Team Liquid roster coming together just now, needing to sort of go through those growing pains that you mentioned, everybody getting used to being on the same page together and being able to temper some of that hype a little bit. You want to strike when the iron's hot, but not so hot that it's just going to turn back and burn your hand, right? Team Liquid, they had some moments, but 100 Thieves are showing that they are indeed one of the contenders here in Spring Split 2023.
Yeah, and they're deserving of a lot of credit for that. I mean, I think a lot of these teams are kind of trying to take like the EG blueprint from last year, where you guys were able to do with, Danny and JoJo, surround them with veteran experienced players and kind of build them up. Both these teams are doing that, but it's 100 Thieves with Tenacity and Busio. We're talking about them like there's kind of bulletproof team in this game, but they're having rookies on their team as well, and being able to, I think, really make it work very, very quickly.
Well, Inspired, thank you so much for joining us here for the cast today. It was a pleasure to have you, my friend. And now, a quick reminder to all y'all out there, we are officially live with tickets for the LCS Spring Final in Raleigh, North Carolina on April 8th and 9th. Head to Ticketmaster.com right now to claim your spot. And now we're joining Raz and Closer on stage for the Verizon post-game interview.
Welcome, Closer. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
I got a few questions for you.
Okay.
So we'll take it point by point. First things first is mostly on, actually, when I saw you first, we were on Golden Guardians together. The one thing you said you wanted more than anything was winning a championship. You won once, you got 2, or at least you went to the finals 3 times, and just overall, like, you're kind of still seen as an underdog with this team. Not a lot of people are expecting you guys will be a champion. Let's walk through that a little bit. Tell me about your goals and if you think that's valid.
I mean, my goal is definitely to be remembered after I'm done. And yeah, I won once, but I think winning second time is harder, so I'm pushing for that. I don't really care. People see us as underdog. I think if anything, it's just an advantage, you know. I have many veteran players on the team, many GOATs, and I have rookies as well. So I think we are a good team, and we are scaling.
That's what I like to hear. The one thing that I've noticed you guys are doing really well right now, though, is like, it feels like your Herald setups have been consistently strong for the 4 games that you've had, or at least this game was also strong, at least with your Dragon setup. Like the slow contest you guys have had with Dragon, feels like the smartest team so far. Is this something that you go through review focusing on? How have reviews been with your team?
Yeah, for sure. I think we are just trying to make sure we get our fundamentals right. We are not like winning every scrim, but we are improving every day, and I'm sure we will be a good team when the playoff time comes. And our C9 game wasn't a good showing from us, but this week was we were facing TL and FlyQuest. We took down TL and FlyQuest is undefeated, so we are going for them tomorrow.
So I love to hear. And I have one kind of point. There's something that you wanted to talk to the people at home, struggles that you've been going through.
This week has been actually rough for me because, as many of you know, there was a devastating earthquake happened in Turkey and Syria. First of all, my prayers goes to people that got affected by it. And I also want to say, if you support me, I hope you support my country as well in these hard times. And I want to thank my teammates. They supported me this week. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for going through this one, brother. 100%. There's going to be many resources out there for you guys to be sending any donations, anything within your powers. So please, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for taking this interview.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. And after this break, it's going to be CLG versus Golden Guardians. Stick around.
Well, bottom side, 2v2. They got the damage on CoreJJ, and Busio's going to take the kill. Now ready with the piercing arrow. Spell shield is done, but Yeon outplays it to take him out. It'll be a 1-for-1 with those two, but a 2-for-1 overall. He finds the shuffle, but it's only on the closer. Now they're going to chase him down. Pyosik wants it. Haeri has nobody to body block. Ace in the hole takes him down. Doublelift's going to grab another triple kill. It's a quadra kill for Doublelift. He just tears through him.